from Riverside, California.
Yeah.
Can't stop seeing Eric as Bill Murray in Caddyshack getting his Gophers. Oh, yeah, this is me talking about the Gophers, shooting them and whatnot. I don't know if in that episode, did I ever tell you how I used to burn them out with propane? I'll get this figured out sooner or later, maybe. How you doing, man? We're only on episode 300 and something, and I can't quite figure out how to
dial it
record.
in.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Good.
Good. We got some fan mail today for our great listeners of the Make Trades Great Again that take their time to write into us. And we bring it up at the end of most of our episodes saying, hey, you can give us messages, you can text us, you can do these things. And we acknowledge that it's hard for us to reply to them. Like, we can't do it directly, right? We haven't figured that out. I don't think it's possible.
I don't think it is.
But we can bring it up, and we can make a whole episode about talking back to our friends that talk to us.
That's right. We can reference you by city and by the last 4 digits of your
and
phone
some number. What is it? The last 4 of their phone number?
Yeah, I think
or is it their social?
Yeah, it's got to be their social security number. I'd feel much better if I was leaving a random text message on a app server that.
Yeah, with my last 4 of my social.
In there. Yeah.
What's your first pet's name in the street you grew up on?
Yeah. Right.
Oh, this seems suspect.
Can you give me your routing number and your password?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you were to claim a food as your favorite, what is it?
It's my favorite. Can't be yours.
Yeah. All the things that point to your passwords,
right? Yeah.
Your logins.
What was the brand or make of your first car?
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to jump right into an older message that came back in July, and I apologize. This is from Minneapolis, Minnesota. They probably got their question answered by now, but just a real quick one. This is why I pick it first. It says, Eric, love the show. Watched your. Oh, they don't even love you. They. I'm sorry. Okay, I should reread it. Eric and Andy love the show. Watch your video on recirc lines. Where can I buy Caleffi balancing valves? Oh, this is a cool topic, actually, real quick. We can get into some technicalities. You ever use the Caleffi? Well, let's answer the question.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'll forget. Where can I buy Caleffi balancing valves? For anybody that's not a plumber, and I guess plumbers, do we give them a plug, Andy? I mean,
yeah, might as well.
Yeah, okay. Supplyhouse.com. Just go to Supplyhouse. If you don't have an account set up through them, you'll pay the regular price, which is only 5% more than those of us that.
I don't even know. Significant.
No, it's significant in a year's time.
Sure. Yep.
But individual items, it's not going to save you a ton of money. Anyway, nonetheless, you can just go on their website and buy it. Not all of, but most of Caleffi's catalog is the major items, and especially the flow control valves.
Yeah.
The balancing valves. I've used those for hydronic systems and for domestic hot water. They're two different valves, by the way.
Did you know? Here's one where most people miss, and this is where I've used them. You can get the Caleffi balancing valve in lead-free, which is not always the case for all other brands.
It depends on the size too, right? And connection or something like that.
You can get it in G Union, 3/4 or the 1-inch G Union thread on each end.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Okay, how awesome is that?
Yeah.
If you are building a rack system with Navion, you must have flow controls on the exterior of the unit. You can't use the internals. I didn't know that.
You have to limit it to 4 gallons per minute per tankless unit. Yeah. That's the number. It's 4 gallons per minute. Yep. You can't go beyond that.
Right. So anyway, that little Caleffi balancing valve is slick in that aspect. Now, here's the dilemma. As it sits from Caleffi, they don't make a 3/4 FIP by G Union in lead free, I don't believe. that is a separate accessory.
I think you were right.
Yeah.
I kind of questioned you on that when you first told me this like a year or two ago, right?
Or maybe it's male.
I don't remember which one it was. It was whichever one you were looking for was going to fit your application the best. I think it was female. I think you were like going to put them right on the cold inlet or something like that.
The manifold. Yeah, I was going to use.
Yeah, I think that's what you were doing.
Anyway,
you were right, and well, you're always right. There was like that one that I think you even brought it up to Max at Caleffi, like, hey, what the heck? And he's like, we need to look into that.
Right.
I mean, this stuff gets missed.
Yeah. Right? Solution for anybody that's out there. Another one of our valuable vendors out there. Webstone makes a 3/4 MIP and FIP in lead free that are G Union. So
in the flow control?
No, just the adapter.
In the adapters, yeah. I got a small box of some sample parts from Webstone this like a week or two ago. Did you get that too?
Yep, I did.
And they send this stuff out to us once in a while. Not just us at MTGA, but however we are their favorite.
Yeah.
Like to believe there's a slew of contractors, all plumbers, HVAC people that work with these kinds of fittings and valves and things like that they've kind of got on like this trade council kind of setup where there's a list of these people. We're on it. We're at the top of it, obviously, and
clearly.
And they send us some samples once in a while when new products hit the market coming from Webstone. And so this little box came and it has some pretty cool.
It does have some cool adapters.
So they have ball valves now with drains on them, regular ball valves with union stuff. They're G thread on both sides.
Yeah. Like, so you can put whatever you want.
You can put whatever type of adapter on it in a union. That's actually, I mean, these aren't going to be inexpensive per item, but if you're looking to like start knocking down fittings used in order to make up an assembly,
here's
that's where they're going to make a big difference.
This was the first place that it popped out for me. Bottom of a Viessmann boiler, right? B1HE 85, right?
Yeah, you've got the 3/4 inch MIPs sticking out of the bottom.
So guess what you need to have running between your indirect and your 85 is 1 inch, right? Or 1.25 inches, depending on the length.
Yeah.
You could put a 3/4 FIP on one side of the valve and a 1 inch press on the other side.
Oh, you're putting valves on those lines?
Oh yeah, always. So it makes it easier to purge them. So
yeah, I don't put valves on them.
Yeah.
Interesting, huh?
I
don't put them on there.
Yeah.
I just purge through the actuator setting.
Yeah,
without valves.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Gives you opportunity to shut things off, I guess. I don't know.
No, you're right. No, absolutely. I get it. All right, so moving on. Yeah. So you could buy. Okay, so recap real quick. Those Caleffi flow controls, very cool for recirc, hot water recirc in domestic water. Yep. You got to buy the lead-free ones, and the right GPM, right?
Right.
And then because there's like basically like when you get into the 1/2 and 3/4, there's like a up to 1 gallon, and then there's like an over 1 gallon. Those aren't the right numbers, but like basically there's like kind of two models.
Right. It'd be nice if somebody made 1.5 inch that was like radiant flow, like 1/4 GPM.
Right.
1/4 through 1 would be really cool, or 1/8 through 1.
So if you weren't using like a radiant manifold or something where you can do flow control.
Yep.
I got you.
If you had single zone manifolds or recirc even, really. I mean, what's your recirc flow rate? Like nothing. It doesn't need to be anything. Just
it depends on it depends on what you're using recirc on. If you're using it on a tankless, it does need to be like a gallon and a half.
Yeah. But if I guess where I've come into the application is commercial systems where we've got a mixing valve. It has 100% continuous flow all the time. You don't get to put a timer on it.
Right.
If you got a large format mixing valve, you got to have constant flow through them. And there's a lot of times when that constant flow could be pretty darn minuscule if you've got a bunch of recirc lines that you're balancing out. So
yeah. Well, on a residential system with a mixing valve and recirc, you do have kind of a minimum flow in order to keep that valve in the right position for temperature.
Yeah, which is
depending on the valve. Most people aren't using the better valve, in my opinion, and which does allow, like the Caleffi will go down to like basically zero flow almost. I don't know if that's a factual number, but like it'll allow one side to shut off or the other, which does allow really low flow rates, but either way. Okay, moving on. Charlotte, North Carolina. Oh, this is back in July too, and we were talking about ChatGPT, and I said something about like who owns ChatGPT or whatnot, or who funds it. And this was a message real quick. ChatGPT is funded almost solely by Microsoft, and Copilot is powered by ChatGPT. That's what we were talking about.
Yep.
What is that Copilot that Microsoft AI?
Yeah, we were trying to think of the name of it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And now we got them all. We got what? Apple Intelligence. We got Copilot. We got Gemini.
I haven't used any of the Apple Intelligence stuff because I don't have a new model phone.
I'm
a little
bit left out.
Do you have the new model?
I don't. I have a 14, and I was all excited about all this stuff. And then I was reading. I'm like, I can't get this to work. And then I'm reading, and then I look down there and the fine print. Oh, 15 and later. I'm like,
Yeah. I have a 14 Pro Max or something like that. Yeah, I think we have the same phone probably.
Yeah. Guess I'm getting a new phone.
Heather and I went she needed a new laptop. Here's a life hack for you. If you're going to buy a MacBook or something, you just need I just need this, and it's not got to be the friggin', world's best, most powerful computer ever.
Yeah.
She bought 6-8 years ago, no, maybe 5 years ago, a refurbished MacBook Air. Okay. And it has been like all of our Mac products so far. It's been bulletproof, and just one day it wasn't. Something happened to it, who knows?
Yeah.
I told her, it's like, oh, that's them getting you to buy a new MacBook. And I said, just go buy a new one. And she's like, I don't want to. And I might buy another refurbished. I'm like, But the new models are better than what she had. So I talked her into getting a new one. We went into the store, and that was the day you could pick up your new iPhone. That was a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
There's people lined up in the mall.
Getting the new.
Would you ever stand in line for a phone?
No.
Have you ever?
No.
I wouldn't either. I've
ordered them online or whatever. Done if there was a pre-order or something. Back in the Google Pixel days. It's funny. Pat Finley posted something on Facebook here. I don't know. It's been a few weeks ago about phones, and he's like, I'm thinking about switching, or about tired of this Samsung Galaxy or something. I don't remember what the context was.
Yeah,
but he was questioning whether he should buy an Apple product or not. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, this is the first time in my, let's say, adult life, of owning a cell phone where I haven't had a new phone every year. I'm 2 generations behind, and I don't really even care.
It's kind of funny how I'm in my head taking credit for this.
I know. Yeah.
This is so misplaced. It's so ridiculous that in my head I'm like, yeah, see, I told you. Yeah. No, I built the phone and I made you use it, right? No, but I've been telling you for years how much I like mine, right?
Yeah.
So it's funny. Yeah. That's where my brain went immediately when you said
right.
that.
Well, and
obviously
I don't feel that way. I was thinking back, and I was like, what was it about the Pixel phones in that era, right?
Yeah,
that was oh my god, I gotta have that one, and performance was maybe something that was a little bit of a mindset. I'm pretty sure my phone's slowing down, and in reality, I think what a bunch of it comes down to is the technology was at 8 years ago, 10 years ago in cell phones was changing so stinking fast.
Yeah,
year to year,
for sure.
That. It just seemed, the appearance that everything was better in the new phone, it was, whereas now, you look at what was the change between the 14 and the 15? Different camera?
Well, I'm not even sure if that was there. I think there was some camera enhancements. Yes.
Sure.
Then isn't that when they went to the USB-C?
Could have been. Yeah.
On the 15. Yeah. whoa.
And I, to be honest, I couldn't tell you what the difference between a 15 and a 16 is because I haven't looked. But I don't know.
I think there's actually like physical size differences, stuff like that.
Sure. But I mean, as far as like, think back 10 years ago, what was the big thing? Oh, it's got a front camera.
Yeah.
Well, everything's got a front camera now.
Oh my God. I can't even think of something that doesn't. You know what I mean? Like,
but you know what I mean?
My Ford will give me a selfie if I want. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
I don't know. Yeah, it's just interesting.
Cell phones, I tell you. I'm obviously a fan of the Apple stuff, and people listening probably drive off the road right now in rage, and I'd be like, "That's because you use an Android and you're angry all the time." And then people, hey, drink the Kool-Aid. I'm like, yeah, because it tastes good. You know what I mean? Like, my stuff just works. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah. I was shooting. That's not going to mean the same thing to everybody. We were shooting videos for a build yesterday at my shop, and Rowan, my shooter, my videographer, was they travel up from Austin. He works for Build. He was talking about, he's new to the job in a sense. So he started doing this in like April, and he's starting to travel more and more, like almost every week. And I was kind of giving him some like, hey, Heather and I travel a lot. I said, what do you do about like your, like, what you like the stuff you have with you every time you travel? Yeah. I said, what is it that you have to grab every time? And he kind of immediately went to where I was pointing him, and he's like, oh, I got to get my charge cords, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, see, I said, perfect. I said, go on Amazon for $10, find some cheap pouch thing that you can organize your cords in.
Yeah.
And I ran over to my office quick and grabbed it. And I said, here you go. And set up a whole pouch with everything you need for your cords. Yep. And that's your travel cord bag.
Yeah. And they don't not come out when you're at home.
Yeah. Because here's what you do. You either lose a cord eventually as you travel, and that's going to happen. You leave it in a hotel room or whatever, or in a rental car or something like that. Right.
Yep.
Unfortunately. But if it's your home cord too, then you're really like, oh my God, I got to find another cord. I mean, I know people have cords and whatnot, but don't ever travel with something that you also need at home. Just buy a second one of those things. Does that make sense? Like when it's simple stuff, like your cords.
Right, yeah.
I said your toiletries. Like, why would you grab your razor out of your bathroom, put it in your little DOP kit, your little toiletry bag? Yeah. Like, have another razor, like that kind of thing. He's like, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah. I don't know how I just got onto that.
I don't either.
Sorry. Either. That's okay.
It's fine. We were talking about cell phones and cords, I guess.
Cords, I guess. I don't know. Anyway.
Down that hole.
I did. I think I had a point, but I must have lost it.
That's all right.
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
From another one late July. From Riverside, California.
Yeah.
Can't stop seeing Eric as Bill Murray in Caddyshack getting his Gophers. Oh, yeah. This is me talking about the Gophers. Shooting them and whatnot. I don't know if in that episode, did I ever tell you how I used to burn them out with propane?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you did or not, but you and I have talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give everybody a quick hot tip on how to do this. And please don't do it if fire is a danger where you live. I mean, this is not endorsed by anyone, even myself. I had an old camp stove that got trashed, like an old propane camp, like a Coleman. The thing actually got crushed and wasn't worth trying to salvage, but somehow the hose stuck around. And I saw a YouTube video at one point in time. This is 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I saw a YouTube video and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm going to give that a shot. So I cut the one end of the hose off, not the end that it hooks up to the propane tank, but the other one that hooked up to the stove, so that I could hook this now rogue hose up to my propane tank. Again, do not do this. This is so ridiculous. I'm not even proud of this. I'm just going to tell you what I did because I started the story anyway. And it's one of those days. And then I would find both ends of the run of these are striped Gophers. That's what we have most of here. And so I find both ends of their tunnel, uncovered them.
Yeah.
I had a hose nearby. I feel like I told this story. But anyway, I'd shove my propane hose down there. I let her buck for like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
and you'd go to the other end of the tunnel, which is 20 feet away, and you could smell the propane. You're like, okay, then you run over, you shut it off, you move the tank away, and then you get the torch. Poof. Yeah. Oh my God. You can YouTube that. They're all over the place with this thing. And
there's a company that makes one like commercially available.
Well, I'm saying all this because this is not smart, by the way. No, none of this is what I'm talking about. Am I proud of and being like, and first of all, I didn't invent it. So no. Yeah. Bill Murray out there going after the Gophers. No doubt though. All right. I've read a bunch of them. Yep. The next one would be Long Beach. I think that's yours.
Yep. Long Beach. So your podcast keeps me sane. Me and my husband run a small commercial plumbing shop, 5 trucks. Wish I could join the banter with you. Keep up the great work. I think this is Nicole.
You think so?
I think so.
Now we're calling people out by name.
I know. Well,
careful.
And only on the basis because I'm going to call her out by name because I think she had sent us an email as well.
Oh, okay.
No, I can't find it.
Well, all I know is her last 4 of her social.
Yeah, right. The last 4 of the socials on there, so we could probably look her up that direction. Anyhow, hit us up on the email. We'd like to chat with you a little bit about that.
About coming on the show, right?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, that'd be awesome.
But like I say, I think she sent an email wanting to chat with one of the girls, and this I think came about the time that we were out hanging out in your kitchen.
I remember, yes, and yes, you told me about this, and I think she had messaged about talking to Cheryl or something about that. Just like the family business kind of thing, right?
Yeah, yep.
Working with your husband and stuff.
Yep. How enjoyable it is to work with the, No, I don't think that's the case. I don't think that.
I don't think that's how it's presented when my wife starts talking about it, but
no. Okay.
It's kind of like how I said we're at the top of the list for Webstone's favorite contractors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of embellished.
Yeah. I might have embellished
maybe that. A lot.
Yeah, a little bit, a lot. No, thank you, Long Beach, California, for helping keep you sane. We were talking. This is in response to our episodes with the girls, our wives.
Yep.
2 episodes. Those are audio only. So if you're watching this on YouTube, go over to the audio side of YouTube. If you want to just hear those 2 conversations. The highlight of my 2024 for podcasting was having Cheryl and Heather on. Honestly, I mean that. Like it was, I don't often listen to our episodes after they're published. Sometimes, I find it entertaining to see what the heck it was that I said that was stupid. But to have them on, I listened to those episodes and I was like in tune, like, oh my God, we talked about that? I couldn't,
Yeah.
I was so excited when it was happening that I didn't remember what we talked about.
Yeah.
No, it was fun. It was heavily fun.
So like say, let's see. So our next one, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Hey, Eric and Andy, I'd like for you guys to make an episode giving aspiring plumbers tips on how to make it through their apprenticeship. We have
an episode on that.
Did we write that down? Probably not.
We're
super prepared for this.
Yeah, no, I have it. Hold on.
Eric has it in his notes.
I have it in my notes. I believe it was in January.
Okay.
So we have a few apprentice episodes.
Yep.
The most recent was from January of this year.
There you
go. Might have aired. So let's look that up, Andy. I'll look it up while you keep up the fan mail.
I'm keeping up on the fan mail.
I will look it up. It was in January.
Okay.
That we recorded it. It went out on January 18th, and it's called 5 Things Apprentices Should Do Every Day.
Yep.
It is one of the top listens for downloads in our library this year, by the way. And in that episode, we list 5 things, in our opinion, based off of having trained apprentices, having apprentices worked with us, having worked alongside apprentices, and also having been both of us ourselves apprentices.
Yep.
5 things we think are important to think about daily.
Exactly.
They're not groundbreaking, right?
No, No, I don't think so. I think they're things that are probably a lot of common sense, but I think they're also things that people might, a couple of them are ones that people might go, oh, I guess I wasn't really thinking about that way. So
sometimes just being reminded of something that is common sense, like something already.
Yep.
And like you're saying, I wasn't thinking about it that way, or I hadn't thought about that for a while. Yeah, I should do that more often, that kind of thing. Yep. We're telling you to do it every day.
Daily.
Right? On Sunday when you're not working, you're going to do these things.
That's right.
No,
muscle memory.
Look, near and dear to our heart are the well treatment of the best training for, like, everything about apprenticeship is, I mean, Andy has gone as far as being on the committee when it comes to interviewing and selecting apprentices for the Montana local union. What are you, 416?
459.
459. I'm just throwing numbers out there now. I guessed pretty close, though.
You were
close. I was in the 400s.
There's 4 in there, yeah.
Oh, there's a 4 in there. He says, "Hey, I was close. I could have said 300."
Yeah, well, that's another Montana local.
Is it really?
I think so.
Yeah, I knew that. No, I'm just kidding.
300's in your area.
I have no. Well, there's.
Doesn't matter.
I don't have any idea. Anyway,
it doesn't matter.
And so you are on the apprenticeship committee, and you help with all things apprenti in your local. And going back a ways, a few years, I was instructor in the UA instructor training. I was an instructor for the UA in my local. Yeah, and I taught apprentices mostly, primarily. So Anyway, yes. If you want to listen to that, and we should probably do another apprentice episode. Should we try to get some apprentices on?
Yeah, maybe we should do that.
And see what they think about being apprentices?
Yeah.
Think that they would want to come on and talk to some old guys like you and I?
Yeah. Well, if you're an apprentice out there in the big wide world, shoot us an email.
Heck yeah.
Don't send us a text because we can't reply to you. This is cool, but
this is cool. I like it.
Yeah.
It's great feedback.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Watertown, South Dakota. This is just a week old, really.
Ooh, freshy.
Yeah, this is a fresh one. Hey, fellas, I just listened to the Stress Less episode. Okay. From July. I just left town for vacation. It's like every year when vacation time comes around, the stars align to prevent it. Then you're screaming, then you're scrambling to get the stars to align to. I can't even read today. I just screwed this all up, and I'm so sorry. I was doing so well for a second there. And then you're scrambling to tie up loose ends so your guys are best prepared to keep the show running while you're gone. I'm in the commercial kitchen equipment repair and HVACR business, and I can feel your pain. Yep. There are times when I can't even remember what it's like to have freedom to take a minute, and other times I'm handling it much better. Anyway, keep up the good fight, fellas. Sorry I screwed that up, Watertown. When I read this, I had to look back to remind myself it was Watertown. I thought maybe this was like Pat or somebody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bet you he knows Pat, though.
You might know him from the gram or from the wherever.
Anytime I see anybody that works on commercial kitchen stuff, like, I immediately think that they know Pat.
They have to, yeah.
Isn't that funny? Like, I am so far from the commercial kitchen industry.
I am too.
Like it's just not part of my daily.
I feel his pain there. I think that over the last 10 years or 12 years that I've been doing this, that I've just kind of learned that we're going to go on to vacation means less work mode. We don't.
Yeah, you're still kind of working.
I say that, and that's probably not a true statement. I mean, Cheryl does a really good job of helping me get prepped.
Yeah.
On the way to vacation, right? Like those weeks leading up, kind of like this guy's saying, or this, and about trying to tie up the loose ends, make sure that your parts are ordered, make sure that all your notes are up to date, and really, here's what I've kind of started doing more so is don't wait until you're going on vacation to be better about being prepared.
Okay.
Right? Take this as an opportunity to just be prepared all the time.
Yeah.
And then the day will go smoother and the jobs will be smoother and that. And
but I mean, you are leaving town at some point, so there are certain things you won't have as much control over as you wanted.
Sure.
So you do have to be, but you will be kind of last minute scrambling.
Yeah. There's going to be those. There's going to be those where, I mean, you're rolling out of town and, hey, we don't have this.
Yeah. The big thing for me when I leave for vacation, because I don't have to worry about somebody having what they need to do a job when I'm gone and stuff like that. For me, it's different, but it's no less like important because I have to take care of things. Like I have to route phone calls, right?
Yep.
So if somebody comes and needs service day of, or pretty much can't wait until I'm back kind of deal, I have to have that set up. And I've got that network built, and it's pretty reliable. It's not 100%.
No.
But I've got a good network on that. And that's important. It's really important because I don't want to lose customers. I want to make sure my customers are happy and taken care of.
Yep.
And so that's one thing. The other thing, ultimately for me, is, and I'm really good at doing this last minute, but planning it out is something I'm not going to pretend I'm awesome at. I know I'm going to have jobs that I need to have order materials from, have all that stuff sitting in hand when I get back. Right.
Yep.
And so like, that's where like a couple of weeks out from my vacation, I start with those scheduled projects.
Right.
I start like compartmentalizing, like I need this material literally under this PO for this job. And I need it sitting here before I leave.
Yep.
I know it sounds simple and like, of course that's what you do. But when you're the only person doing that in your business, like Heather's helping me in the business every day, but she's not ordering those materials and she doesn't, you know what I mean? We're not doing that.
Yeah.
And so like, if I've got a change out or I've got a tankless or I've got this big service and I need, shop supplies for it, like I'm literally preparing that stuff so that when I get back, I'm not trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I'm not relying on my very reliable suppliers to get me something usually next day, which I can do all the time. That's when it's going to fail, that whole system, right? Yeah. When you get back and you're like, oh crap, I need this thing tomorrow, that's when you're paying too much for it and you're not getting what you want. And so, preparing that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Cheryl's started doing, I shouldn't say started, been probably doing it for the last year and a half, more so lately. When we have, I don't want to even call them simple projects, basic change outs. We're changing a toilet, we're changing a kitchen faucet, we're changing a water heater, garbage disposal, something like that. Or garburator, as the friends in the North call it. I always hear that and I'm like, what?
I know. What?
Anyway, so she's gotten to the point where she's more comfortable calling Keller or, somebody and grabbing our counter guy there and being like, hey, this is what I'm working on. Can you set me up with an order so that the guys have everything they need? And the counter guys,
and you're having them house it under like a PO or something like that.
Oh yeah, put it on a PO, have it. We'll call on this date. Rob's going to come pick it up, or Tristan's going to come grab it, or Miles, whatever. But those kinds of things are big, just to take that little logistics out, so that when your employee gets to that job, they the stuff. This is what's on order. And so
it's easy to add something to it quick because you're going to have to go pick it up, that kind of thing.
Yeah. What we'll do is we'll put that on that job name and PO, right? And it'll just be in Will Call. And then we just make some notes in the House Call Pro, private notes that parts are in Will Call at Keller under this PO. Here's what I ordered. And it may be that, you're doing a garbage disposal change out and Rob may go, I only have one basket strainer on the van. Probably should have another one or maybe a different style. So he can call over there and be like, hey, throw this on that order too.
Wonder what they call basket strainers in Canada.
I don't know.
Baskerators or something like, I don't know. I'm making stuff that's stupid. It's stupid.
Brain has a shell on it.
Yeah. Candy coated shell. I'll show you M&Ms. Anyway.
So Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that was some of we call it fan mail. Okay.
Yeah.
I wish that's what our podcast platform that does this for us, that allows us to take these messages. That's what they call it, fan mail. I don't know. Are these people fans? No, they're our friends. They're our listeners. They're our peers. They're whatever. Whatever. They call it fan mail.
Out in the trenches.
Yeah, they are. No, we appreciate it. And again, like I said at the top of this recording, and I've said it many times in the past, please give us your feedback. It's such a gift for us, and it gives us something to talk about. It gives us ideas.
Yeah.
We like to learn what you think of what the heck it is I'm talking about, because usually it's me.
Yep.
Like, what is he saying? And it's fun. Honestly, we do truly, truly appreciate it.
Yep.
Anything to add to that, man?
I don't think so. Like I say, shoot us an email, shoot us a text, get us on the DMs, wherever you find us.
Heck yeah.
I'm
excited.
I'm not opposed to carrying on a conversation somewhere. So
Nope. Had a big conversation in text yesterday about HCP.
Oh, very cool.
And I brought your name up, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, I just tell them I'll just talk to you. I don't want to talk to you about this anymore.
Yeah. You should call Andy about this. Hey, yeah. You just unloading.
Yeah. I just here, I've said enough. Here, ask Andy. I'm just kidding. I like telling people about it. I feel like it's exciting to me because it feels like when you're talking to the right person and you see that what's helping us, what's helped us do our job better, you see how it could help them, and you're like, oh, and it does this, and it does this. All of a sudden, you're like selling it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
When you're excited about something, it's easy to do that.
Right.
Like when you've got something that makes your job easier, like it's my opinion or how I kind of operate that I want to share that with people.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
There you go.
Well, that's what it is. I am the same on that note. So,
all right, dude. I'm hitting stop.
Do it. It's a good episode. Thanks for everybody writing in.
See ya.
See ya.